Good morning and welcome to the Mike Show for Monday, May 18, 2026. 49 degrees at 7:43 a.m. and I am your host, Val Kamal, and I'm a sinner. And I'm powerless and my life is unmanageable. Humility and gratitude are the keys to life. It's always today. It's always now. My life is not my own. My will not be done. There's no reality but God. And the only thing we have to do is die. So how are we going to live today? And I hope and pray I can live from my heart a life based on faith and not fear. It's Happy Monday. Oh boy, we've been up since about a little after 3. We fell asleep out here at camp around 9 o'clock last night. We had a doozy of an electrical storm and just pouring rain, and it was beautiful. It was awesome. So we got to sit out here and watch the lightning and hear the thunder and hear the rain hitting on the roof. And that was a nice thing to fall asleep to. And I woke up at City Chicken coming in to feed. I woke up and then went and laid down on Audie's bed in the living room, and all the girls eventually came and cuddled with me, and Elsie came downstairs and cuddled with me, and laid there for a couple hours just doing some breathing and getting purred and petting the kitties, and oh boy, got up I think around 5:30 finally. Got moving then anyway. Had some cold, thin, watery gruel, cleaned the noogie boxes, swept up around the noogie boxes, pulled the bags out of the noogie boxes where we dumped the litter, and that's got to go to the dump today, or DPW. We take it there and dump it in the compost piles during the season. Can't do that in the winter time. But anyway, everybody but Elsie went out this morning. And the girls, how shall I put this? Today was the first day. They've been grounded before, but today was the first time, and I'm sure it won't be the last, that they've all been grounded for life. Every one of them. They just would not stay in the yard for nothing. Usually 2 out of 3 aren't too bad. I can tolerate what they're doing. I don't necessarily always like it. But Chloe was off over that way. Gracie went over to neighbor Mitch's backyard. Ruthie went over to neighbor Bob's backyard. And I'll tell you, right after I got up, I checked my blood pressure. It was 114 over 64 with a pulse of 64. And I bet if I would have checked it after I got them in from outside to get them their treat, if a doctor probably saw what it was then, they probably would have put me in the hospital. I was stressed out and stoked right up. And I'm still kind of stoked right now, but that's because I did my back stretch and neck work as far as stretching, and then I've done a couple kettlebell routines and 50 push-ups so far today. I don't know if I'll do any more of that kind of stuff. But anyway, I've yammered on long enough. And we are going to do a recap from yesterday. And the first thing I'll say about that, and then we'll probably go into a commercial break from our sponsors. Yesterday's photo was a shot of Uncle Stu, Uncle Raz, and Chloe number 1, right around this time of the year in 2011. And Razzie was up on a chair that was over in that corner. Stewie was on that chair when it was right here, and still kind of a chair. Now I don't know what you'd call it. I call it a lot of good memories, that old beat up old chair out there. Every cat we've had since Mischief and Rascal have enjoyed that chair. Probably some of the strays out there too. But anyway, yeah, and Razzie was sitting on that chair in the corner, and Koki #1 was reaching up and they were going to sniff noses. So anyway, let's take a little break. Welcome back. And I don't really mean that. And I didn't mean it when I said good morning either. After coffee and wake up time yesterday, I got on my bike and I don't remember. I'm not keeping track of miles anymore. I'm not obsessed with getting 3,000 this year. I don't care. Whatever I get, I get. It's just important to just do something for about an hour each day as far as physical activity that's going to, work you up to a sweat. Training for old age or older age. And I took a ride around the bike path around the college, and then past the duck park, through the fairgrounds, through the cemeteries. Saw a couple deer, didn't I? Or was that, I'm thinking of something else. And then, by the high school, over to State Street, by the lake, hit Save-A-Lot, picked up some Kogel Viennas. I wanted to make some of my famous Kogel Viennas with onions, chopped onions, peppers, and mustard rolled up in a little tortilla shell, or whatever you call them. They didn't have the kind I wanted, so I bought these, what I thought were a healthier kind, that were made with spinach. And anyway, a couple other things. Came home, made that. But when I was reading the ingredient list on those so-called healthy, they didn't call them tortillas. There was a fancier name. It started with an F. But they had more fiber than they had carbs, which they had going for them. Said there was no added sugar, 0 sugar, but then when I read the ingredient list, it was like, this stuff's nasty. It's one of them things that the packaging promotes it as being something very healthy, but it had red dye, yellow dye, blue dye, green dye. And even though it said no sugars, there was sugar in the ingredients. And the usual list of scientific words that I have no idea what most of them mean. I started looking some of them up, and there was maltodextrin, and that's a lovely one for your body. Anyway, but I ate them, and they were pretty good, and I had got a pound of burger while I was there, too, and I chopped up some peppers and onions and seasoned that up with some half-assed taco meat and rolled a couple of those into burritos with those yummy little green tortillas. We'll just call them that for the sake of doing it. What did we do after that? I think we cleaned a bunch of guns. We went over to Cousin Paul's the other day, did some shooting, and I cleaned 3 firearms, hung out with the cats. I'm trying to remember if I let them out in the afternoon. I did. They were fairly good about staying around, if I remember right, and I did that deliberately, though, because we were going to get rain, and it was lightly raining, so it wasn't too bad. I think Ruthie was the only stray, as usual, yesterday afternoon. Read to the cats. I don't know. But anyway, bouncing back to Cousin Paul's visit, I failed to mention, on the way there, my truck got 39.6 miles per gallon, and on the way home, it was 46.6 miles to a gallon. So every time I see mileage like that on that thing, I do not regret buying it. The only thing I regret as far as that is all the spyware that's in it. And, they're talking and passing a law to make it so the automobile manufacturers can stop your vehicle. Well, the fact of the matter is they can already do it, because it's the same thing where you got a remote start where you can start and turn off your vehicle from inside the home, unlock the doors, all that. It's already in there. They just got to add an update to it so they can remotely turn off your vehicle from wherever they want to and whoever they want to. And I found a video, I don't know if it's true or not, but the way to get around that right now is to find out what fuse it is in the fuse box, and you pull it out and put a dead one in there. And if you do it before your warranty's over with or your vehicle's paid off, it's going to void the warranty. But that's something I'll definitely do once my warranty is void. I just don't like the intrusion into our lives with all this spyware and bullshit. So anyway, we're going to take another little break. And after a flurry of activity, we are back. We've had a shave, swept the bedroom floor, the steps going upstairs, the steps going to the basement, emptied noogie boxes again, did some accounting. There's Coke. There's Chloe. Oh, Cokie, you're a beautiful girl. I love you. Did another kettlebell complex, or whatever you call them. And speaking of fitness news, the other day, I've had the same old worn out belt for years. And long story short, I buckled it comfortably on the third notch. Years ago, by the end of summer, I would be down to the fourth notch. I'd be like nothing but lean meat and bones. I'd be buffed out, all 8-pack of abs and all that. I didn't have an ounce of fat on me. And last year I was lucky to get it down to where I could use the second notch. And this year in May, I'm already down to the third notch. And I might make 4. In fact, I'm going to get a new belt. But anyway, it isn't just the exercise. I firmly have come to believe that getting away from ultra-processed food and quitting using seed oils is a biggie. It really has been a biggie for me. And that fat, the love handles, the lower back fat, and what I call my tank, which a lot of people, they wish they were me, but I guess the body shape I've had for the last couple of years is considered skinny fat, because you get that sub-Q fat in your belly and, like I say, your sides and your lower back, and I just could not get rid of it. Like I mentioned before, I pedaled 3,000 miles last year, and that didn't get rid of it. So since I've consciously made a decision to cut out more and more of that ultra-processed food and them seed oils especially, that fat is melting away. It really is. I know the exercise helps, but I have to believe it's more about the diet and what I'm putting in me. Anyway, I'm thinking I might go do about a 5-mile bike ride now. There was something else I wanted to mention. Oh, I've been grinding up old documents too, if you're really bored about knowing what's going on in my life. And, like I saved my records for 5 years and then pull them out of the desk drawer, put them up in storage, and then pull out a year's worth and then shred them or burn them every year. So isn't that exciting? And we are back for what's probably going to be our closing segment. We've been joined by Ruthie. Ruthie! My girl, my little sweet girl that's good as gold inside, but outside, she's got a mind of her own, a little Diablo. Or is it Diabla? And there's Gracie. She just finished second or third breakfast. Where we going, baby girl? Oh boy, it's turning into a beautiful day. The conjurers tell us we're going to have an electrical storm this afternoon, so I think what I'm going to do right now is hop on a bike and maybe go knock off about a 5-mile ride, come home and have my second breakfast, and we'll figure out things from there. Got lots to do today, but we can just make it up as we go along. So I think that's all we got from the cold gray ashes and coals of my cold black heart. My broken, beaten, battered, bruised, bloody, burdened, empty, hollow, cracked, shattered, hopeless, forsaken, forlorn, bitter, angry, tired, resentful, twisted, convoluted, confused, grieving, happy, ungrateful soul. Piss off. Happy Monday, and thanks for not tuning in.